Good afternoon, Santa Clarita. This is Dr. Judith Curts, and I'm here with my colleague, Dr. Gregory Jenkins, and we are live today, and we are going to give you a great show. It's going to be so much fun today. So I want you to call in and be ready. The phone number is 298-5487. 298-5487. What is this thing called love? People have wanted to know that since time began, and there have been so many interesting stories. What is this thing called love, Dr. Jenkins?
People keep looking for love. Keep looking for love.
In all the wrong places.
Sometimes the wrong places.
Yeah.
But, love is something that each individual person feels differently from the person next to you. So I'm sure what I feel and what you feel and what he feels is all different.
Probably.
And that makes the world interesting.
It does make the world interesting. And how are we attracted to other people? Have you ever talked to one of your friends and they said, "Oh, look at that person. They are gorgeous. I really want them." And you're thinking,
really?
Not so much. Not so much. So there are certain things that are put into our brains that make us actually become attracted to somebody. And it's actually called a cathexis. That's a big word in the term of sexology. And what it means is an attraction. So we all have something. Somebody might, be attracted to, and it's not as simple as a blonde, a brunette, or a redhead. It's more, there's just something special about that person. It could be wide shoulders. It could be large breasts. It could be small breasts. There's something that's put into our makeup when we're 4 or 5 years old, when we have our psychosexual development, that causes us to be attracted to other people.
Cathexis. How do you spell that?
Cathexis. Cathexis. Cathexis.
I'm going to look that one up because I've never even heard that
You
one.
probably won't find it. I think there are certain words, about 25 words in every profession that separates them from everybody else. It's just kind of a club.
Okay, I'm going to look that up.
Like the handshake that you have in the fraternities or sororities. So
the secret handshakes.
It's a secret. So that's the secret word that if somebody knows, you go, "Oh, well, you must be a sexologist."
Cathexis, catharsis.
No, cathexis. And that is the sexual attraction, that thing that makes you become attracted to somebody. And we can talk about that more and more. I think you said, Greg, once that women are looking for somebody to take care of them.
Sometimes.
And men?
Not so much. Yeah, I think men are looking for a look. I think.
Men are visual, so they are looking for that look. However, here's the big mistake. If a woman sees a very wealthy man and knows, well, he'll be able to take care of me, and wants to marry him and does all of the things that she has to do to seduce him, and they get married and he can certainly take care of her, she may not be happy unless that cathexis is there. So we have to be really aware of what turns us on.
So are you saying that if you have true love, there is a cathexis, and without true love, there's no cathexis?
That's a great question. Great love with sex. And there are some true loves that are not sexual at all. Their love for other people. People can have a spiritual connection with someone and there's no sexual connection. So I think true love runs in many, many different ways. But I think, especially in our society, we are so confused about what really turns us on. We're confused about relationships, sexuality, and so that's what we want to talk about today. And I am really hoping that some of you call in. I mean, our offices are open now, and please call in to 298-5487, and we'll talk about it. Any question you have or anything concerning love, relationships, sexuality, health, And Dr. Jenkins, I know, is just dying today to talk about orgasm.
I think we're going to talk about the psychology, and that you're going to handle.
Yes.
Of attraction.
Right.
And the cathexis. I have a new word to work
It's a
on.
new word.
Yeah.
It's a good word.
Cathexis.
It's not a 4-letter word. It's a good word.
Cathexis.
Cathexis.
Perfect. I'm going to look that up also. But so how do when you see somebody and you have a cathexis, what is it that you, not particularly you, but that women or I guess partners that are together, well, what is it that they find or feel? What makes the cathexis work?
Well, there is something that you see somebody and you get excited, which is the first phase of sexual behavior and sexual response is excitement. You see somebody and you think, I don't know what that is. It could be somebody that, may not be attractive to a lot of people, but there is something about that person. You know that song, something about the way she moves attracts me like no other lover. And so that's what separates it. Just that special feeling. It could be somebody has a certain ears. It could be hands. It could be the way they do something. It could be legs, anything. It doesn't even have to be a body part. It could be something special that person brings to the table, which interacts with our sexual fantasies, which are also put into our heads at age 5, and that doesn't change.
The Barbie dolls? The Barbie dolls do that?
The Barbie dolls.
Do they make you have, did they put things in your head?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. They might. It's a good question, because when little girls play with Barbie dolls, they do think they have to look that way to be attractive, don't they?
They do sometimes.
And then we really,
And they're really messed up.
that's a real, because Barbie just doesn't look very good. I mean,
Not so good.
she's not healthy, is she?
No, she had to be 100 pounds and 6'4" to fit that.
Isn't that horrible?
Bottle.
That is so pathetic.
But I think, because we're talking about different types of attraction, and there's also the visual type, like we're talking about a minute ago.
Right.
And I imagine there's also the mental type, mental attraction, where somebody likes the way you think, or thinks that you think well, or I guess there's that kind.
Well, there are, and you can have more than one. You can say, oh, I like this person because he has a hairy chest for women, but he also has this amazing way that he thinks. His brain is wonderful. So, there can be different things, but there is a certain type. And you know what else is interesting? There's something called the imago theory, which means that you are attracted to someone who is like your opposite sex, usually, parent. Because, little boys fall in love with their moms, and then they realize they can't marry them, and they have to grow and keep, find someone for themselves. And little girls fall in love with their fathers, and this is during a certain age. And then they get disappointed that daddy isn't going to marry them, so they are always looking. That's their first love object. So they are always looking for that person unconsciously. And a lot of my patients, when I see them as couples, are kind of surprised that, my wife is not at all like my mother, but there usually is something that does attract.
Well, I see some of these reality shows like Beverly Hills Housewives.
You watch that?
Oh no, but I've seen it. I don't watch it. I've seen it, but I don't think those guys and those women are attracted to each other.
Oh, I don't either. I think it's all about the drama.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they like each other at all, and you don't see much sexuality on the show.
No, I don't think there's any sexuality on that show.
There should be.
Well, probably it's a secret.
I have an office in Beverly Hills. I think I should get them in there, and we'll do some.
Hey, line them up.
we'll do some reality work.
Yeah, you get to break out your limo.
But it's true that people are attracted. Now, if you have a really sad, bad history with a parent, and you're attracted, you think, why do I keep having these negative relationships? Could be you have to learn, oh, I see why I'm attracted, and then realize that when you meet someone and consciously say no and find somebody else who will be a better mate for you as far as a mate goes. But that attraction is real. It is there.
Okay. So how about some other shows? How about not the reality shows, but the scripted shows? You know, the I Dream of Jeannie.
Men love that.
Yeah.
To have their own little genie who does everything for them and makes them happy.
Ozzie and Harriet.
Oh, Ozzie and Harriet.
Who can remember Ozzie and Harriet? Only old people like myself.
I think well, since I lie about my age, I don't know who you're talking
That's
about.
right, exactly.
Ozzie and Harriet. And remember the old shows, they had to sleep in Dick Van Dyke.
Separate beds.
In separate beds, so they couldn't even talk about sexuality. So no wonder we're kind of confused about it, and we don't understand it, and there are a lot of myths about it. We don't understand many times our own orgasms and what makes us that way. Many times our partner will say, well, this is how you should feel, or this is, and there are no shoulds into how you should feel. It's all about pleasure. And the TV shows that you're talking about, let's talk about the movies and the more R-rated, X-rated movies where women have these amazing orgasms and they are immediately excited and they are breathing heavily, and believe me, these people get paid a lot of money to do that. I just found out. But that's not real. And I think sometimes when men are raised with that, fraternity parties, and they see these shows, that's not the way a woman is, and that isn't the way she responds.
So whatever happens at bachelor parties is not true then, is that what you're saying?
It's a fantasy.
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever happens at bachelor parties should stay at bachelor parties.
Yeah.
Total.
I've only been to 2 bachelor parties, and both of them were relatively clean. No movies.
Really? What'd you do?
We had dinner. Had
No
wine,
strippers?
No strippers.
Oh.
I'm just a boring person, I decided. Yeah.
Well, some of them are wild. Some people go to Vegas, and what stays there, what happens there stays there. I don't think it's that healthy. I think it's acting out a lot. But, is that going to be reality? No, it really isn't. But I think when we date, we play those roles and to seduce someone, and then when you get married and life gets in the way, everybody's disappointed. So we're not choosing our mates very well, I don't think. Or the ones that I'm seeing in my office, there's some bad choices that have been made.
There was a movie, The King of Hearts. Did you see that? That's where a couple gets married in New Jersey, and they're going to honeymoon in Florida. So they drive down to Florida, and on the drive down there, he decides, you know what? I don't really like this woman. Right?
I've heard that.
And when they get to Florida, and they get into their hotel, he goes out on the beach and he sees this beautiful woman. I think it was like Ursula Andress or Bo Derek.
Oh, was that Bo Derek?
Yeah, I think it was Bo Derek, yeah.
Oh,
So all of a sudden he falls in love with just because of the look.
Oh.
So how does this person have the feelings of falling in love in New Jersey, but when he gets back to Florida, it changes? Is there a geographical thing? You think more people are happy in Florida than they are in New Jersey?
Oh, it's exactly geographic. No, it's not geographical. But, of course, this is a movie, too, right?
It's a movie, right.
But I think sometimes that happens when people finally get into reality of marriage and paying the bills, and somebody doesn't feel well. It doesn't work unless they have a great communication and they really do love each other. So, I always say friendship first, and you've got to have shared goals and values. I've worked with couples that they don't have the same goals, they don't have the same values. I don't know how they got together, except,
Cathexis. not cathexis.
Could be cathexis. This is something, but if one person has a cathexis and the other one does too, that can be a pretty hot relationship. And if you can fulfill somehow or know your partner's sexual fantasy, which a lot of people won't share that, but if you will, and you can fulfill it or work with them in that, it can be pretty exciting. You can have them for life. It's pretty powerful.
Wish there was a blood test for that.
For what?
The cathexis test.
The cathexis test.
You draw the blood, you
Yeah.
mix them together, and if they do something, then
Well, you know, when you go out, all these women that are attracted to you and they're, they just flaunt at your feet, what do you think it is that you've got?
me personally,
Yeah.
oh, I don't think I have anything.
Oh.
I think I'm just a regular Joe.
No. Regular Joes always have something, and there is always something very, very special about each person. Even there's something called waddle or something. It's on women's. I, of course, don't have it, but on women's arms, that fat that hangs down.
Or they call it a bat wing.
A bat wing can be. I've heard it called waddle or something. Some people are attracted to that.
Wow. That's amazing.
And
it's amazing that we have so many different ideas what is attractive.
But you know what's good about it? There's somebody for everyone out there. There's somebody for everyone. So you don't have to look like Barbie. You've got something that someone is going to be attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go through the stages, the excitement. So I'm so excited with this person. This is great. But I wouldn't be sexual really immediately, even though you're very, kind of hot for them. Get to know them, be their friend, because, whoa, that can end very quickly. Mm-hmm. And are you choosing a person for the wrong reason?
That's a good point. I think we're getting close to our break, so I was going to tell people that just please call into 298-5486. I'm sorry, 5487. 5487. 5486 is probably back in the cathexis room, right? But
yes.
The room with cathexis.
Yeah.
But when we get back, we're actually going to talk about the physiology of attraction and how the hormones work and how you have an orgasm and how you get penis engorgement and things like that. So that's going to be very interesting. And then I'm going to talk about that some. And then after that, we're going to wrap up. And I'm going to remind you that we're going to have two guests coming up. One guest is another type of therapist that I know. And the second guest we're going to have is a woman who has a vitamin supplement store that also, in her store, she teaches yoga and she teaches, exercise training, private training right there in her store. So I think that's pretty interesting. So she's going to come in, I think, next week, and the therapist the week after that. So
sounds wonderful.
So
sounds fun.
That'll be good. So, and after that, we're going to maybe take some requests on the phone, or if you can email us at the doc at what was it again? Doc
at hometownstation.com. Just DOC at hometownstation, all one word, .com.
It seemed like if they got KHTS.com, it'd been a little simpler.
That would have been much simpler. I don't know who did that.
Yeah,
but same people that don't give us water.
That's true, yeah. So we're going to sign off now, and we'll be right back. I'm Dr. Gregory Jenkins. I'm here with Dr. Judith Curts, and we'll see you right back in a moment. Thank you.